So, I'm going to talk to you about some things I've learned in my journey. Now, they may be truths to me, but don't think that that makes them mine, because you cannot own a truth. Number one, life's not easy. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it. Number two, unbelievable is the stupidest word in the dictionary. Give others and yourself more credit. It just happened. You witnessed it. You just did it. Believe it. Happiness is an emotional response to an outcome. If I win, I will be happy. If I don't, I won't. And I say if happiness is what you're after, then you're going to be let down frequently, and you're going to be unhappy much of your time. Joy, though. Joy is a different thing. It's something else. Joy is not a choice. It's not a response to some result. It's a constant. Joy is the feeling that we have from doing what we are fashioned to do, no matter the outcome. Number four, define success for yourself. Humility is not in vogue anymore. It's too passive. It's a get rich quick on the internet, richest 15 minutes of fame world that we live in, and we see it every day. But we all want to succeed, right? So the question that we got to ask ourselves is what success is to us, what success is to you. Whatever your answer is, don't choose anything that will jeopardize your soul. We've all got two wolves in us, a good one and a bad one, and they both want to eat. The best I can tell, we just got to feed that good one a little more than the other one. Number five, process of elimination is the first step to our identity, AKA where you are not is as important as where you are. The first step that leads to our identity in life is usually not, I know who I am. I know who I am. That's not the first step. The first step's usually, I know who I am not. Process of elimination. Get rid of the excess, the wasted time. Decrease your options. If you do this, you will have accidentally, almost innocently, put in front of you what is important to you by process of elimination. Number six, don't leave crumbs. So what are crumbs? Well, the crumbs I'm talking about are the choices that we make that make us have to look over our shoulder in the future. They come in the form of regret, guilt, and remorse. You leave crumbs today, they will cause you more stress tomorrow, and they disallow you from creating a customized future in which you do not have to look over your shoulder. So let's flip the script. Instead of creating outcomes that take from us, let's create more outcomes that pay us back, fill us up, keep your fire lit, turn you on for the most amount of time in your future. These are the choices I'm talking about. And this is the beauty of delayed gratification. Number seven, dissect your successes. We so often focus on failure, don't we? We study failure. We obsess with failure. We dissect failure and our failures. I find that most of the times our obsession with what is wrong just ends up breeding more wrong, more failure. And the easiest way to dissect success is through gratitude. Giving thanks for that which we do have, for what is working. Appreciating the simple things we sometimes take for granted. Now, I'm not saying be in denial of your failures. No. We can learn from them too, but only if we look at them constructively, as a means to reveal what we are good at, what we can get better at, what we do succeed at. Number eight, make voluntary obligations. I'm talking about the you versus you obligations. We have to have them. They are your secrets with yourself, your own private counsel, personal protocols. An honest man's pillow is his peace of mind. And when you lay down on that pillow at night, no matter who's in your bed, we all sleep alone. Number nine, from can to want, even when it means having more. Right, be discerning. Choose it because you want it. Do it because you want to. Number 10, a roof is a man-made thing. And it's because we have created a fictitious ceiling, a roof, to our expectations of ourselves. A limit where we think it's all too good to be true. But it's not. We do our best when our destinations are beyond the measurement, when our reach continually exceeds our grasp, and when we have immortal finish lines. And when we do this, the race is never over. The journey has no port. The adventure never ends because we are always on the way. Number 11, turn the page. Guilt and regret kills many a man before their time. So turn the page, get off the ride. You are the author of the book of your life. Number 12, give your obstacles credit. I think fear is a good thing. Now, why? Because it increases our need to overcome that fear. Say the fear out loud. Admit it. Give them the credit they deserve. Don't get all macho and act like they're no big deal. And don't get paralyzed by denying that they exist and therefore abandoning your need to overcome them. So be brave, have courage, and when you do, you get stronger. You get more aware. You get more respectful of yourself and that which you fear. Number 13. So how do we know when we cross the truth? 13. Someone was asking, why did I pick 13? That's an unlucky number. I awoke on this 13th morning to a rising sun, surprisingly fresh and energized. My gut was still a bit peaked from last night's purge, but I curiously felt pretty good. Felt alive. Felt clean. I felt free and light. And somewhere in my captivation, I heard this little voice inside my head say these words: all I want is what I can see, and all I can see is what's in front of me. You see, I crossed the truth that morning. Now, did I find it? I don't know. I think it found me. Why? Because I put myself in a place to be found. I put myself in a place to receive the truth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my series, Let's Have Coffee. The whole idea behind this series that I came up with was I noticed with everything going on in the world, people are no longer talking to each other, and so I came up with this series called Let's Have Coffee so we can sit down and finally have some conversations. And every once in a while I can get one of my friends or family members to come join me on the show. So please sit down and enjoy these topics. And if you would like to add to whatever topics we discussed today, you can comment down below and get added in, and I will pull up your comments on the next video if there is anything intriguing, or we are also welcoming anyone who would like to be a guest on our show as well. So please sit down and enjoy. We are back with the Mystery Man. Okay. So the Mystery Man. Okay, so I think it's McConnell. You said his last name. McConaughey. Yeah. God, I always say his last name wrong.
Matthew McConaughey. It's only 1,000 fucking times.
I recognize the face. I recognize the voice. Like, I know who he is. I do. I love him. I respect him, but I can never pronounce his last name right. Yeah. But I also understand, like, being someone with a strange first name. I totally understand the miss. Anyway, so
I need to get my comfy chair. I'm like, why the hell am I uncomfortable?
Okay, well, get your comfy chair. What you doing without your comfy chair?
I can't live without my comfy chair.
I am so sorry. I should have gotten you your comfy chair. That's on me. That's on me. I am so sorry. While you get your comfy chair, I'm going to get me some water.
You are supposed to anticipate my needs and fulfill them and bring me in my comfy chair. So when I sit down, I don't have to think about it. I'm just comfortable.
Ow, ice! That's on ice! That way I'm going to leave all that shit in. Okay.
I love talking shit.
Gosh, David loves Callie's husband. Oh my gosh, he loves doing, like, he'll say a perverted thing that may not necessarily be perverted. We'll just hint at it because he knows my mind will not only picture it, but it will, like, picture it in detail. And he loves seeing my reaction to something. He was doing that to me all day today while we were, like, taking Callie out for her birthday, and it was just like.
Oh, how did that go, by the way?
It actually went really good.
What did you end up getting her?
We just kind of did like a small thing. So Rachel and I each got like a small gift for her. And then we split a card, and Rachel, I, and my mom signed it, and it was actually like the most randomest card ever. It was it was a card that had like a dog on it, and it was something like, "You better have a good birthday or we'll drool on you." And then you flip it open and it says, "I will drool on you, I promise. So you better have a happy birthday," right? And Rachel was like, "I will come over there and drool on you." Rachel, right? And I second this with an arrow pointing up at Rachel. Right? And signed it. And then my mom also signed it, right? And my mom, being the smart ass she is, drew a freaking dog drooling and said, "So you better be happy." And signed, "Love, Carol." And I was just like, but yeah, Kelly was like, it was really funny. I finally got to pay Kelly back because for years, Kelly has done this thing on my birthday, especially the last few years, where she will call me the day of my birthday and go, "Hey, you home?" And I'm like, "Yeah," like, because we usually take our birthdays off anyway, right? Yeah. So she's like, "You home?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I finally got to do that to her this year. So Rachel and I, like, we got ready and everything. And while Rachel, like, once we were ready, I called Kelly, and which we rarely ever call each other unless it's a dire emergency, right? So we always pick up, like, within, like, the first ring or two, because it's, like, usually the only time we call is, like, "I am broken down on the side of the road and I need you to come tow me some shit," right? So she like, picked up, like, right after the first ring, and I was like, "Hey, you home?" And she's like, "Yeah, of course I'm home." I said, "Are you going to be home in an hour?" She's like, "Well, I'm not planning on going anywhere but being home. I'm planning on being home all day." And I was like, "Okay, good, stay." Right? Hang up. Well, my stupid iPhone, and I am blaming my booty, freaking video called Kelly as Rachel and I were walking out the door. My butt starts talking. And all I hear is Kelly's voice and David's voice. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is my butt talking to me? So I get my phone and I video call. And she's like, "Hey, you video called me." And I was just like, "God damn it, stupid iPhone." So I was like, "Well, we'll be there in a minute," right? So we eventually, like, get on the road, get there. Well, Kelly had, like, left her screen door open. So, of course, Rachel and I just let ourselves in because the door was open, basically. And all she sees is these balloons come floating in, and Rachel and I are like, "Hey!" I mean, we didn't get much, but we got that. And then we got, like, that emoji, happy birthday, with a rainbow shit emoji with a freaking unicorn horn. It said, "Happy birthday!" And we got a fucking mini llama pinata. We filled that with all of her, like, what we could find of her favorite, like, candy and snacks and stuff she likes. And we got her, like, one of those little mini variety cheesecake things. And
sounds like you gave her a good birthday.
Oh my gosh, her face was priceless, because we walk in and she's like, "What the fuck?" It was priceless. I loved it. Oh my gosh, it was, like, the best. So that made my day. Like, it was Rachel's idea, which I love Rachel for helping me with that, because I never know what to do for my best friend for her birthday, and I feel so bad. Like, I never know what to do for her birthday. So it was nice to finally get to, like, even though it was, like, a small little thing, it was nice to actually do something for her. And then we ended up going, because David was just like, "I want some Starbucks," because, like, I got them, like, Starbucks gift cards, so he was just like, "Starbucks. I want Starbucks." And he was feeling kind of down because, like, he just got, like, the first round of the, shots, the vaccine. And so he's getting the after effects from it, but he was just like, "I want some freaking Starbucks. I feel like shit. I want some Starbucks." So we went and got Starbucks. And I ended up taking them out for lunch, too. So we ended up getting Subway, too. So, but yeah, it was a nice little adventure. So, sounds like fun. Yeah. So it worked out really good, and I was happy. I made my best friend smile, and that made my day. That was his 13, the video was labeled 13 Truths in Life, according to Matthew McConaughey. I can't see. I can't.
Just think of it this way.
McCon-
Break it up for yourself. Ma. And then con. Hey.
Hey. I want to say a hill.
No, just say
hey.
Hey. Like a piece of hay. Hey.
God.
So
Whatever.
Ma. Con. So you can remember ma.
Con. Hey.
Don't forget the A part.
Hey. Hey. Okay.
There you go.
There you go. God.
Anyways. How do we play that game?
So I kind of wrote like a response of my life truths so far, right? And so this is just stuff that I've kind of come to the conclusion through to, especially this last year.
You started the thing? Yeah,
it's been recording this whole conversation.
Oh, okay.
As I said, I'll probably leave that in just because.
Okay.
Why not?
Go ahead.
So this is just stuff I've kind of came to know and stuff. Maybe this, so I know for sure. I'm sure my microphone is picking up on it, but
you're still on there. So.
Yeah. So I only have 7 so far, but I did say my life truths so far.
Okay.
So my first one is, you may be destined for something, but that does not mean you don't have to chase it. Get off your ass and greet your destiny. And I think you kind of understand that one a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like from like where I've come to that conclusion. Because it's like, I may have always felt like I was destined to become a writer and stuff, but I haven't gone up and actually fucking gritted it. I've been sitting here waiting for like the people to show up at my door when I should be the one going out the door and going, hey bitches. 2, home is not a roof, it's a place of comfort and peace.
Yeah.
And I think that's really been kind of, because that's been the struggle I've had with like this house I have. Like I don't want to sound ungrateful for my house. Like I am grateful for it. I am definitely grateful for like the really small mortgage. But it doesn't, like there's some days I'm okay, I'm content with it. It feels like home, but it doesn't feel like this is where I'm going to grow old. You know, like I may be 50 years old and still own it, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'll live in it. I've actually, because, you know, like right now we're in the process of kind of remodeling it. I mean, I'm going to be repainting my bedroom and reorganizing my space and stuff so it's easier for my projects. But I also, like one of the things he was pointing out about, what was it? Basically, like, I think it was when he was talking about obligations that made me think about that. You know, like the obligations to you. Like, I need, not only, like, my obligations to myself is my projects, you know, my YouTube channel and stuff. But I also need to make sure I have a, you know, a place that's just quiet and peaceful where I can just kind of decompress so I don't become overwhelmed. And I don't really have that in my house, what's supposed to be my sanctuary, right? So I'm getting stuff together to set up my fire pit area. I've always found comfort by sitting around a campfire. You know, we haven't been able to go camping this last year due to the fire bans because of the drought and then, you know, stupid bullshit that's been going on, the fires and all that BS. So I decided, you know what, I have 3 acres of land, I'll just set a spot. And I've always wanted to set up a little fire pit on the back half of my property. Anyway, this beautiful corner, it's by the creek bed. It's got a nice view of the Ute Mountain and everything. So I figured I'll set up a fire pit back there with some sitting area, like some chairs and stuff, and I'll like gravel around it and make a little path to it. And that way I have a place I can just go out, maybe start a little fire, just sit, be quiet under the stars, and just decompress. So that's kind of where that idea came from. You know, that it's a place of comfort and peace, not necessarily the roof over your head. Like, I felt more at home in my 25-foot camper than I do my 4-bedroom house. I mean, that's kind of effed up. And you can pitch in whatever you want. 3, you are already doing the impossible. Breathing, living, everything around you is technically impossible. Do the impossible. And that kind of just, I mean, think about it. It's like, we're not, like, we suspect we're not the only life in the universe. But think about it, like, everything that's currently in existence right now, from, like, little fucking amoebas to, like, the giant elephants, like, technically life should not exist, but it does. So I thought, you know, we're already surrounded by the impossible, why hold ourselves back, you know? 4, and this one's kind of long, know your own truth. You may already know your destiny, but because it's not someone like a business owner, doctor, truck driver, even a singer, artist, etc., you may not realize you already know what you're meant to be. Go to what draws you the most, the hobby that calls to you, because that's your destiny. That one I was thinking back to that time when I had that teacher of mine who discouraged my writing, which led me to the drugs and alcohol and all that BS I ended up getting into. And for me, why am I burping tonight? For me, it was kind of nice that, you know, I was sitting there thinking, like, I remember I had this conversation with Rachel this summer, before she went on her little adventure, but we had this conversation and she was telling me how jealous she was of me for knowing I want to be a writer, because she doesn't know what she wants in life, and she's like 20 years older than me, right? And I was sitting there thinking about how not that long ago, I was like where Rachel is. I used to be jealous of people that graduated high school and immediately went into college because they knew what they wanted to do for the rest of their life, and I didn't. And it's taken me all this time towards the end of my college life, which luckily my degree is incredibly, to realize that I always knew what my destiny was. I've always been meant to be a writer and artist. You know, my whole entire life, like even when you know, I was my boys' age or younger, I've always sang, I've always danced, I've always told stories or wrote stories. I've always done that for as long as I can remember, and that was always my peace, my comfort, that's who I was. And I lost that when I was in high school, and I had my art teachers sit there tell me to give up my writing because I never make a penny out of it. So I kind of had like that realization of, I already knew what my destiny was, but I allowed other people's opinions lock my connection to my destiny, I guess is how to put it. There's probably a better way to put it than that, but that's how I can put it. So
basically what it sounds like is you're feeling free at this moment to be able to explore.
I'm feeling free.
What you want to do.
Yeah.
What you want to be, what you want to exist as.
And I probably would have come to that conclusion sooner in my life. But because if I had stuck with my writing and all that, I probably would have met my destiny sooner, so to speak. You know, like I have that joke that, you know, I'm 2 years behind because I thought I'd be publishing my first book at 25. That's what I always saw. But I lost sight of that vision when that teacher told me that. And I despise her to this day, you know, and she still works at the same old school. I've seen her, she's seen me, we've made eye contact, but I've thought about confronting her, but at the same time, it's like, I'd rather wait until, you know, maybe I'm like, I have a physical book in my hand and be like, you know, slam it on her desk. I don't know, but, Yeah, and my mom said maybe she'll be like one of those people that it's like, well, see, by me telling you off, you like rebelled and so you should thank me. It's like, fuck you. You made, because I lost that vision, I got, stuck in all this other stuff. So here am I at 30, like almost 30, finally reconnecting with that part of me and going, no, this is what I've always wanted to do. But it's taken me all this time.
Yeah, but don't continue to look at those crumbs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You remember when you talked about crumbs?
Yeah.
Looking over your shoulder?
Right.
Regretting that you didn't make it your first book at 25 years old. Remembering that you didn't accomplish this and you could have gotten it done so much earlier. Those are all things that are crumbs. You're looking at past regrets. Don't look at past regrets, he said. Leave the crumbs in the past and just ignore them. Don't, just let those crumbs go. Let them, clean up your crumbs, so to speak, as he puts it. Yeah. And look forward. Just keep moving forward and keep striving in the direction you need to do in your life.
Yeah. That actually kind of connects with my 5th point I had.
Okay.
That was actually perfect. That fit right in.
Okay, go ahead.
Relabel guilt, regret, remorse, which is what Matthew said about, those were the crumbs he was talking about.
Matthew
right?
who?
Matthew.
Yeah, what's the last name? Come on.
Fuck off!
That was not his last name.
Anyway, relabel guilt. I will talk about it. Relabel guilt, regret, remorse to lessons because they taught us lessons we needed to know. So it's like, I could say I have guilt, regret, remorse in the fact that I lost my connection to my art, my writing. I got mixed up with drugs. I got mixed up in a very abusive, toxic relationship and all that. Yet, huge yet, I've been able to take those experiences and learn from them. So I kind of felt like relabeling guilt, regret, and remorse as lessons instead of considering them as.
Well, it's interesting. The one that I always remember when it comes to that concept is it's sort of like the clam who picks up a pebble or some sand or whatever, and it sits within them and it agitates them and it bothers them and everything, and then over years and years, and finally, one day that clam opens its mouth and there's a pearl.
And it started with like a little grain of sand or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, every negative thing that happens in our life, ultimately, if we grow out of it and we learn from it and don't not learn from it, because it can hinder you. Yeah. You can continue to have
it can discourage you
for your whole life.
Yeah.
Or you can move on and just, move past it, but it becomes a pearl. It gives you strength.
Yeah.
Your greatest challenges are your strength. If it hadn't been for my stepfather, and the abuse that I went through when I was a child, my mother wouldn't have taken me to Alateen and eventually Al-Anon and into what was the other one? It wasn't Al-Anon. It was basically like a self-help type group that met, and did the 12-step program thing. And that started me down the path of self-actualization and finding myself and accepting who I was and how I was. And it made me who I was because of who I wasn't when I was younger.
Right.
I mean, I still remember being scared to raise my hand in class because I would ask a stupid question and be ridiculed by the students around me, and so I was too scared to ask any questions. I've always, even to this day, sometimes I think I'm a big phony, because I feel very awkward in certain social situations, and at those times I feel like a child again. And we all have those moments where we feel like a child again. You know, it happens to all of us. But it's just, you know, realizing that, you know, that it was because of my past. I mean, I have to even be thankful because I'm not religious, as you know, but
you once were.
But it was because of religion that it brought me to a place where I feel like I live at a higher plane, a higher level of thought, and a higher level of life because of the black and white that I had to live in for a while. Now I'm absolutely comfortable living in gray. And that's not easy to get to that place.
Right. It's kind of like me, you know, kind of going off of what you're saying. Like, I grew up in gray. You know, like, I was raised in a very mixed culture, very mixed background.
Yeah.
My family we're all mutts. I mean, you look at my family, just, even if it's just my mom, my mom's little brother, my first cousin, and throw my boys in there for extra measure. You can tell we're mixed, and we're all like literally like one generation apart. No other family members, same mom, dad kind of thing. But I mean, my mom's uncle looks Mexican. My mom's little brother looks Mexican. My cousin definitely looks native, unlike me. And my mom kind of looks native a little bit. And then you have my boys who, especially America, a lot of people think is half Asian, you know, but their dad was half indigenous, but people always think, you know, that. So, but kind of going off of what you were going, like, I grew up in the gray and was kind of forced into a black and white mindset for a while. Like, when I was with my ex-husband, I was more in the black than the white mindset, if you want to put it that way. But I kind of was forced to see things in the black and white mindset for a while, and then I eventually found my way back into the gray again. But it's like I can take that experience and be grateful because I was extremely naive before I met my ex-husband and got mixed in with all that, because I was kind of like, due to my gray background, you know, I was extremely open-minded. I didn't understand why people would hate other people for the color of their skin or who they took to bed or anything, because in my family that didn't mean anything. You know, it didn't matter. I mean, to some family members, like my grandma, it kind of did. But the family I really grew up in, you know, the community I grew up in, it didn't really matter. As long as you weren't, like, raping a child or murdering people, we really didn't care what you were doing, really. But that also kind of made me naive to the outside world, if that makes sense. And so when I got with my ex-husband, it wasn't a gentle introduction into the real world. It was a complete body slam, stomach slam into the water kind of, you know, belly flop. Bam! And it hit hard. And I was faced with this world I do not understand. I still to this day don't understand. But I'm like forced to live in the society that we are surrounded by. But I am, at least thanks to that experience, am not as naive to it as I once was, if that makes sense. You know, like you have managed to get back into the gray, but I at least am now in the gray with the knowledge of understanding that world exists. I guess I don't know if any of that makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope it makes sense.
All I know is for me, religion, kind of just to stay on the same track.
Mm-hmm.
Religion for me, the black and white, was really easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there wasn't any confrontations. It was just, this is how it is. And then when I broke away from that, then I was in the, I guess you could say, cognitive dissonance hell.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know what to think or what to believe, or for a while really didn't give a fuck either. But just kind of in this emotionally tumultuous. What's the word? I can't think of the word. Anyways, tumultuous. What about it? Anyways, bad area where in my own head and unhappy place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when I started, partying and drinking and smoking and whatever, and just kind of whatever. And as happy as I was there, then I found my wife, and then that started bringing me back down to reality. And anyways, to make a long story short, I eventually found my morality base again, but it wasn't based on anyone else's opinion or anyone else's thoughts or anything else. It was basically kind of like what McConaughey said, which is basically the shit. I lost my train of thought. But when basically the idea is that once I found my own I know what I was going to say. It's not who you are, you discover who you aren't. And when I started to let go of religion, live my life how I wanted to live my life, I had to start asking myself that question all the time. Who am I not? Because who I am was easier to find out when I started discovering who I wasn't.
So you want to know what's kind of funny?
And there's times in life where I want to embrace what I'm not, but then if I do, I know the consequences, and so I choose not to do those things.
Right.
I choose to live what's true to me and to not live what isn't true to me. And even though sometimes what isn't true to me can be what some refer to as sin or temptation or whatever, it's deciding to choose to not listen to that, knowing that whatever big decision sometimes that you make that goes against who you are could affect you for the rest of your life.
Mm.
Kind of like, I'd like to kill this person, but if you actually kill that person, then what happens? It affects you the rest of your life.
Right. But I think what's funny for me is like when he was talking about that part in particular. I kind of sat there like I've always known what I am, but I thought it was kind of interesting the way he kind of talked about, what are you not? And I immediately, like, the moment he said it, I was like immediately starting to make a list in my head of what I am not. Like, I may be working as a custodian, but I'm not a fucking custodian. Like, I'm not a housekeeper. I'm not a business owner. I'm not a supervisor. I'm not an employee. I'm not, like, I started, like, doing all this. But it's like at the end, I also know what I am. It's like, I am a writer. I am an artist. I am a songwriter. I love doing my music and everything. Like, starting to record my music right now has really been, honestly, a huge comfort and peace for me. I literally find, like, when he was talking about joy, happiness versus joy, my freaking joy lately has been recording my music.
Yeah.
Like, that has been where I've been finding my joy. And then, going out with Kelly and David and Rachel today was joy too, being with my family. But it was interesting because I was sitting there listening, like, well, I'm not this, even though I've had to do that work, I'm not that. I'm definitely a mother. I'm proud of being a mother. Would love someday to be someone's partner, because I know I have that capability and I would love to have someone to grow my life with and everything. But it was kind of interesting the way it said that because I never thought of it like that. Like I've always known like who I am, but I never thought of making a list of who I am not. So as you said, like immediately, like when you said that, I started, and then when I watched it,
it is a one of those mind blowing concepts.
It is.
And I had the same mind blowing concept on that thought years ago. So I'm glad to hear that you had it because it is a mind blowing concept.
Yeah, like
yeah.
And as I said, like for me, I've always like been able to go, well, I am this, but I've never been able to go, but I am not this. I never thought of flipping the card and listing the other stuff that I'm not. You know, it's always been, this is what I am. Like, so.
I wish this. When I was still single and I was like doing eHarmony and stuff, I don't know where this came from, but anyways, when I was doing eHarmony and stuff, I was like having to list things of what I'm looking for in a person. But what I really probably should have done
is what you're not looking for.
What I'm not looking for, yeah.
Right. See,
who I am not, what I am not, and who I do not want to be that way either. Because it's like now, if I knew what that list was,
it would be so much easier.
It would have made it a whole lot easier because who you want, you don't really always know. Because you want pizza, but you've never tried this, and all of a sudden it's available and you try it, and you're like, well, fuck, I like this too. So you're always going to find things that you want in a person eventually. That they, you know, but it's what you don't want.
Right.
If they have that, and it happens to be something that they possess a lot of, it can make it very difficult in a relationship.
Oh my goodness. There's this one question, and I remember Young had asked me this a while ago, but I've always despised this question. I've received this question so many times over the years. And Young was the only person who I dated that asked me this question, but I've had most of the time I get it from people I've not dated. But it's literally the question of, what's your type? I fucking hate that question because I do not have a type.
Yeah.
And it took me a really long time to figure out why I don't have a type and why I despise the type. And it's because it's like, as you pointed out, you know what you want in a person, but you know more what you don't want in a person. And if you're only searching for what you want in a person, you may get surprised by
all the shit that you don't want that they have and possessed, and you didn't think about it because you weren't focusing on it.
And if you search for what, like if you go, okay, I don't want this, you know, you'll eventually find what you want. But there's also a quote, I think I still have it on my phone, there's a quote I came across. I mean,
how fun would it be? I will let you do your quote.
Okay.
Go ahead and get that if you remember what it is. But here's a thought that I just had.
Okay.
It would be interesting to go on a first date with someone and plan this out in advance and let them know in advance. This is what we're going to do on our first date. We're going to discuss with each other what you don't want in a person. And they have to do the same thing. What they don't want in a person. Because then, once you've gone through that list, if you're still sitting across from each other, having feelings for each other after that discussion, you pretty much know the rest is going to be okay.
Right.
You know?
I'm pretty sure I should have.
I don't know. Maybe not. But that's just a thought.
Well, this one, it was kind of like, you may spend like your whole life like looking for a certain person. Who you want versus who you need may surprise you. It was something like that. It was like along those lines. Mine's not going that tricky.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was something like along the, you know, that type of line. So I'm pretty sure I shared it on Instagram. It was one of those like, aha, kind of things.
Well, anyway, so while you're looking that up still, so the one thing I was thinking about too is that in marriage, I had to give up certain things that I just right now aren't feasible in our relationship and where we're at in our life together. But what I can look at is look at the things that we can do right now that will bring me joy and doing those things and finding joy and pleasure in doing the things that I can do right now in the relationship that I have with me and my significant other. And I think that is important. I think it's important that you find, but you ultimately are responsible for your own happiness. No one else is responsible to make you happy. Looking to others to find fulfillment is not even your significant other. Sometimes I think even the one that you fall in love with, if you're looking at them to make you happy, you're going to be disappointed because they're not thinking in their minds. It's like you're not thinking in your mind, what can I do to, I mean, you do, but I'm going in a circle.
It's kind of like one of those, I came across a quote also, kind of that was like, you don't realize when someone falls in love with you because it's silent, but you realize when someone falls out of love with you.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
That was like, that was what I found recently. He has to think about that one.
Does it always matter if someone falls out of love with you or if someone doesn't want to be your friend anymore, or for whatever reason they decide that I'm canceling this relationship? Is that always a bad thing?
I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of like one of those, everyone grows in their own way, and sometimes you end up growing apart without realizing it, and sometimes you grow towards each other. I might have written it in...
Sometimes you go sideways with each other, and then eventually it changes and becomes something totally different too. Just everything.
Everything.
You may have to leave it alone for now. It's not meant
I
to
may,
happen.
because I have to... But I remember it was something like that, you know, it was... Anyway. Okay, so my sixth one was, I know what I am not, and I am able to find my true self. Do I need to say that again?
No. How do you find your true self?
For me, it was like a whole fucking like spiritual like journey.
Okay.
I mean, I found myself like everyone's is different. So for me personally, how I found myself again was, you know, the first step was getting clean and leaving my toxic relationship, but also all my other toxic relationships. Like I have this year, I call it my year of cleansing. I actually even have a video on my YouTube channel about my year of cleansing. Like when I lived in my camper, I kind of like, looking back at that time, I kind of considered it my year of cleansing because I was kind of forced to go depend on these people who always said, yeah, I'll be there. If you need me, I'm there. Right? All right? I always got your back. Right? And yet, who were the first people to stab me in the back when I was living in my camper? Who was the first people who abandoned me?
The very people that said they'll always have your back.
And so I was able, like, it was horrible. It was such a horrible year for me. And yet, through that process, I was able to figure out who my true friends were and who deserved to be in my life. And you want to know the only person that survived that whole thing, that's still in my life
your
to
friends?
this day,
Yeah.
is Kelly, David, and Devin.
Yeah.
Those 3 people are the only ones still in my life after all that. So it literally, I mean, I even lost my childhood best friend, someone I grew up with. I lost her. You know, I lost my first love, my first crush, so to speak.
You know what's so weird is losing touch with. There's certain people that we're just meant to lose touch with. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, my ex roommate Ken. That relationship basically ended up with one of my good friends, and him and her got married and made their own life. They're crazy cuckoo people, but whatever. But they were for a season,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then I have people that when I left them, I had a really good relationship with them, but it just life circumstances, it just kind of ended. But I'm kind of sad. Like, this is one friend of mine that me and him are good buddies and everything. And then when I got with my wife and everything, he liked my wife and was happy for me and everything else. And, you know, I ended up moving away and finally found him again on Facebook, but he hasn't, you know,
right. He's like moved on.
reciprocated back with me. And I'm like, you know, and I don't think I did anything. I think it's just,
it's just
but
like,
it's sad. I mean, sometimes in life we have people that we disconnected with for various reasons that we still wish we could reconnect with, but right like now life isn't allowing it to happen.
Right, like I have some people like that. Like I have my friend, Miss Jenny, who, I mean, she was one of my clients when I worked at Liker. We stayed in touch afterwards.
Yeah.
But because of health issues and stuff, I mean, she's in her 80s, 90s. Because of health issues, she ended up having to leave the area. And I know it wasn't an easy decision for her. Because she was leaving all these friends and stuff and this life she built here to basically go move in with her daughter so, you know, she could be taken care of better. And she and I are, you know, we stay in touch on Facebook. We check in with each other on Facebook. But it's like, I went from seeing this person 5 days a week for like a good year and a half almost, to now we maybe occasionally send like a message to each other through Facebook. And it's so weird because she and I used to like always talk, and I mean, she kind of was like a grandma figure to me. She was like that, you know, that older person, that elder you can always like lean on, get advice from and stuff, and just talk to, you know, sit down with a cup of coffee or tea or whatever and just talk about life. It was so nice. So I have her, and then there's another friend, also by the name of Jami, which is so funny, and her 2 daughters. She was the one that I went to go get her daughter from rehab and got the deer butt print on my car now. But like there are times like I'm still kind of friends with them on Facebook and Instagram. Like one of her daughters, I think she lives in California now. She'll like share like little video clips and stuff while she's in California, like at the beach and stuff. And I fucking love that. And she's an artist. She's like does this photographs and stuff with her girlfriend, and it's really nice to like see that on Instagram and see that she's doing good and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy because these were people that we almost spent like 24/7 together for like good 4 years. Like when I was with my ex-husband, we were always together. And even though like they're not people that, you know, like some of the people I dealt with, that it's like, nope, I'm putting this fucking wall right here and you're not fucking going through it. They're more, the door is open if they wish to come in and out of it, right? Like I've left the door open for them, and they've done so with me. But it's kind of like our lives have kind of gone different directions, I guess. You know, like they're doing their own thing, I'm doing my own thing. You know, we'll support each other from afar, but you know, life goes on. So it's kind of interesting how life does that and how relationships do that and all that. But and I think I've kind of reflected on some of that. I mean, as I said, for me, my year of cleansing was me starting to find myself and me reconnecting myself. And even then, like, one thing this year, especially, I think one of my biggest, I guess, aha moments for me was there's the part of me I've always wanted back. You know, the artist in me, the girl who would spend her days singing and dancing and writing music and books and stories and, you know, would spend hours doing that. I've missed her. I want her back, right? And then there's like me over here, right? But there's all this shit in the middle that has happened since her and me, right? All this trauma, all this stuff, right? So even though she and I say have reconnected, like old friends reconnect over a cup of coffee, there's still a disconnect.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm getting my artist back. Yes, I'm getting back to singing and writing and dancing again. And I'm getting my body back so I can do that again, right? You know, like with my whole weight loss journey, that's part of why I've been doing it. But there's also a part of me that understands that the innocence part of that old me, I will never get back. I'll just say that, but that's...
So, does it bother you that you don't have that innocence anymore?
That's a really good question. I've been honestly asking that of myself, like, because I've had lessons and stuff, and honestly, there are things now in my life that I wouldn't appreciate without those experiences. Like, I'm able to appreciate small things, like the fucking sunrise, the sunset, the fucking deer that went across the highway in front of me last night. I was able to just sit there and go, oh, pretty deer. You know, like this whole herd of deer. Oh, make sure that guy doesn't hit them. I'm able to get home and just look up at the stars again and just be able to sit there and just enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to appreciate some of the things I have. I'm able to, and it's like I sit there and, you know, when I reflect on my life, and I know he says don't look back over your shoulder, but there are times I will. I sit there and I look back over my shoulder and it's like 6-7 years ago, I was addicted to drugs. I was with someone who liked to party. I, you know, was in this very toxic place, not getting into too much detail. And yet, 6-7 years later, not only am I sober and clean, but I have a house. I will be graduating college soon. I will have a degree to put next to my GED. I will have an actual fucking degree. I have 2 extremely beautiful, high intelligent sons who are, thank God, healthy, you know, and yeah, like they have a bit of trouble with speech delay and stuff, like especially Merrick, and that could be related to what I once did, but it could have been so much worse. You know, I could have sons that are completely disabled. You know, so I will put up with the speech delay because it could have been so much worse. So I'm able to appreciate those things I now have that I didn't have then.
Here's I just need to bring this up what you're talking about, Mary, real quick. For one is, even though you're probably not 100% sure whether it was because of your drug use and all the shit that you were doing during the time you had him in the womb,
Mm-hmm.
have you been able to forgive yourself or embrace that idea, at least a little bit. I don't think so.
No, like beyond the gratefulness and being grateful that all he came out with was a speech to therapy.
But for him, see, here's the other side of it though. For him, it's a challenge that will become a pearl someday. And he'll grow because of it. When he becomes an adult, he'll probably be an incredible linguist, maybe, because he had to work so fucking hard
right, to do it,
at it. So he doesn't probably have any malice toward his mom for
right.
that
And
whole
like
womb
Anthony,
issue.
I mean,
It's only you that has that,
yeah,
not him.
and even Anthony, like with his autism, I always have wondered, like, if that's also connected to that. But then again, he's also got an extremely high IQ, and like the stuff he can fucking build and create, and you know, gosh, if he just takes off with that, like I can see him making such an incredible life for himself, and it's because of being on ADHD, like being on that spectrum, that he can focus on things like that so much that you know, so it's. But yeah, I don't think there is a part of me that still hasn't forgiven myself for that still holds my breath.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I have not gone over that.
Okay.
You know.
Well, I was just trying to show you that for them,
like they probably want
it's a challenge that they're pushing past that's going to mature them and help them to be better.
Yeah.
It's just you that's...
Yeah, I'm still stuck.
So that's things you have to... I mean, I still think about, you know, things that I did wrong with when I was taking care of my father-in-law, things that I said, things that I did.
Right.
I made a lot of mistakes. And I kind of had to get to that place where I asked him to forgive me, but then I had to...
You had to forgive yourself.
Forgive myself and realize, and it's like, that's where, I sometimes tell people, you might like me, but the truth is I'm a big asshole. I'm a big asshole. But everyone has, just like Matthew McConaughey said, everyone has two different wolves.
Yeah.
One good and one bad.
And they both need food. Yeah.
And they both need food. So, yeah. And so, we all have those deep regrets, but you just can't let those regrets continue fester and foster. You have to, at one point, just kind of say, you know what? I'm human. I make mistakes. I fuck up. You're human. You make mistakes. You fuck up. You're human. You make mistakes. You fuck up. Everyone fucks up.
Right.
No one is
perfect. No one is,
So just
for me,
let go of it.
I think for me, it's more, it kind of is like more, like it drives me forward more maybe.
Yeah.
Because I've had that experience, because I do kind of have that regret, it kind of drives me more to, in a sense, make up for it by becoming as successful as I can be, so my sons can be even more successful.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
By me accomplishing my dreams.
You can give them an example to follow where it will allow them to live their lives even bigger and better than you've lived yours.
Because when I was like barely 17, 18, and I found out I was pregnant with Anthony, I remember a lot of people told me, "Oh, I gave up on your dreams." Yeah. And yet for me, what saved my dreams, what gives me my drive, is my two sons. Because I want to show them, no, you did not pull me back. Look, I succeeded. I accomplished my dreams even better than I thought I would. Yeah. You can too. And so for me, it's more my drive. It makes me want to push forward even more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that. I don't know why I wanted to share this, but it's just a random thought I just want to share. I'm happy I'm in a place in my life. I'm starting to get to the place that people that are older than me have gotten to a long time ago. And that is, I'm getting to that place where I'm less focused on myself so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to just put my focus more on others and less on me. And it's still a transition. I'm still in transition because I find myself probably 30-40% of the time, maybe, if that's even an accurate number in and of itself, thinking about myself, and the rest of the time thinking about others. Maybe it's the other way. Maybe it's 70% me and 30% others. I don't know. But,
see, for me, I think I'm trying to find that balance.
I think that when I can focus on others and helping others, then I'm not so concerned about me, and then me is just having a good time helping build others up.
Yeah.
You know, I look at my past, and I'm not bothered by too much anymore. I occasionally am, but most of the time, I'm not bothered by my regrets. I'm not bothered by the things I did wrong. I'm just looking at those things more now in my life only for the purpose of helping others. I always tell my story about Steve and about my abuse when I was a child and all those things. But when I share those things, I'm sharing those things to help others.
Right.
Because
it's
looking
like
looking at it myself, I had been looking at it
yeah.
my whole life, and I don't really give a shit about it anymore for myself. It doesn't have any effect on my life anymore. It just is something that happened that I can draw from as a story every once in a while. When I hear someone that has something similar, I can pull it out and out of my file cabinet and say,
I understand.
I understand.
Yeah.
I've been where you are. I've been in your moccasins, and I understand where you're at. And if I can I help you with it? Not that I'm focusing on trying to improve their lives or anything. Sometimes I just think, oh, I want to share positive things that might help you because I know how to help me. But just letting go of shit, because there's a lot of shit in life.
Yeah.
And if you just let go of the shit and embrace the positive, the happy, the joy, I have to constantly cleanse my head.
Right.
Because I'll get bogged down in the shit. And at a certain point, I have to let go. I mean, if I look at politics too much, I'm like you. If I look at politics too much,
I've been trying to avoid it.
I know. Sometimes I'm just like at a point. It's like every once in a while, I check to the window just to make sure everything's okay. And then once I'm like, yeah, it seems like things are fairly good, then I go back to just,
right. For me, I think I kind of find it draining. Like there are times like my mom always keeps up with the news, so she'll like, I'll come in the morning, have my coffee, and I'll overhear her news. And sometimes I'll like go, okay, I might need to look into that. But anymore, like when I start getting into it, I just get drained. And it's like, no, I'm trying to like keep my energy up. I don't need to be drained by anything right now. Like I'll allow myself to get drained with certain things, like my house right now. I'll allow my house to drain my energy so I can get it more functional for me and my family. I'll allow my projects to drain me, but in a way they're replenishing me versus like, that obligation thing that he was talking about. Like for me, my projects is my energizer. Like that's my charger when I'm like working on my YouTube channel, when I'm working on my music, when I'm working on my writing. That energizes me, so then I can take that energy and put that towards my house, towards my family, towards my kids, like that, so I'm able to like replenish myself that way. So I think for me though, it's lately my biggest challenge is trying to find the balance of making sure I have time with my kids, making sure I give my mom a break, making sure I replenish my relationships with my friends and stuff, but also making sure I still have enough energy to do my projects and then like try to come here and like do my work so I can like get paid. So I can pay my bills. Like I'm still in that balancing act right now. So since we're smoothly ready to I would pull. So this is my last.
Okay.
This is my last one that I had. So number 7, use fear of failure. God, I can't freaking talk. As your fuel to success.
Okay, explain that one.
So
or elaborate on that one.
Okay. So for me, my biggest fear is I'll fail. My biggest fear is I've spent the last 5 years getting this degree, making a huge ass debt that's half the debt of my house, and being stuck cleaning toilets for the rest of my life.
And you're not okay with that?
Yep. So I kind of use my fear of failing, of being stuck scrubbing toilets
To push you forward.
To push myself forward to do these projects. Like on the weekends after I spent the day with my kids, like I'm taking them out to the parks, whatever, spent the day. And then I finally have time to sit down and edit my videos, record, whatever. When I sit there and go, I don't know if I can do it tonight, I always have that image pop in my head of, okay, well, I have 2 choices. Yeah, I can procrastinate and not do this project, but what will procrastination lead me to?
Yeah.
Failure. So I'll take that.
So using your fear to move you forward and to reward. Yeah. Mine is probably the one that doesn't surprise you, which is exercise.
Yeah.
I have these people in my life, the purposes of we're recording, that I see slowly deteriorating physically in front of my eyes.
And they're people you love.
My father-in-law died getting weaker. Now that wasn't necessarily all 100% his fault, because he had kidney failure and was on dialysis and doing it 5 hours a day and 3 days a week, and it was just so yeah. So but the point is that I've seen other people in physical pain, and I remember when I weighed as heavy as I was, which is 270, 70 pounds heavier than I am now, by the way, and I remember what that felt like. I was in pain. I was unhappy. I was physically and mentally not alert. I was just feeling like shit all the time.
Which I can relate to.
And I know how I feel now. I feel old. I don't feel 30. I don't feel 20. I feel 49. But I feel a good 49. And I still struggle. And part of it is my attitude. I need to actually embrace exercise and say, this is fun. I'm not quite there yet. But
that's when I throw in my dancing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there are ways that you can exercise and have fun. I agree. But unfortunately with me, that doesn't work because COVID right now. I can't go and play racquetball or do
do things like
basketball or play basketball or anything like that because of COVID. But I can just simply choosing to just use my fear of not wanting to ever go back to where I was and seeing those around me deteriorating. And now I use that fear to drive me forward to keep going the way I am. And I mean, even for me, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. May 22nd, I want to have my 6-pack. I'm starting to realize I may not get there. But I'm going to get as close as I can. And I've already decided, and I was thinking about this tonight, if I don't make it by May 22nd of this year, I'm going to make my new goal that I am going to make it by May 22nd of the next year. So I'm not going to let go of my goal just because if I don't make it.
Right. It's like me, like for me.
Because I have to set that up for myself in advance. Because otherwise I could do like a lot of people do. I didn't make it. I failed. So fuck it. I'm going to go back to being a lard ass. No, I'm going to be like, no, if I don't make it, I don't make it. I'm going to get as close as I can get. And I'm probably going to push really hard at the end, and my wife's going to hate my ass. And tell me I'm imbalanced and whatever. But I'm going to fucking push real hard because I'm really good at making goals that I plan on making.
Right.
But if I don't make it, I'm also not going to just give up. I'm going to say, okay, well then it's just time to just reset the goalpost to another time down the future and keep moving forward. Right. I love that movie. Have you ever seen that movie? Keep moving. What the hell was it called? I can't remember, but it was a cartoon movie. And the mantra in the whole movie was keep moving forward. I'd have to bring it in and let you see it sometime.
I'm thinking of Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming. That's the one that came up, but that's a good one too. Yeah. But no, I understand where you're coming from. Like me, honestly, like when I first started my weight loss goals, it was more. I had this Halloween. I took my kids trick or treating, and I could not keep up with my kids. And I finally weighed myself, and I was almost 200 pounds. That was scary.
Wow.
Because I was bigger than I was when I was pregnant. I was at 187 when I was pregnant. So the fact that I was heavier, I was almost at 200 pounds. I'm not pregnant. I don't have the fucking excuse. What is my excuse for being almost 200 pounds right now? Right? And that scared me. And I sat there and I thought, well, why did I get like this? And it was because of my arthritis. It was because of my injury. And I was basically told to do these workouts that weren't doing anything for me because being a freaking dancer, my body is used to hardcore shit. And yeah, I'm being told by my physical therapist, I'm being told by my spine doctor, don't do that. You'll just make your injury worse. Well, I'm not making the fucking muscles you're telling me I need to protect that part of my body because my body's used to that high intensity freaking shit. I'm used to dancing for 18 hours a day. You know, so don't fucking sit there and tell me don't do this.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And, you know, the nice thing was when we were in quarantine, I took advantage of that and I found a routine that worked out for me and it's been working out. I've been gradually losing weight. And like you, I'm starting to feel better. Like at this time when we met, like what, almost 2 years ago, almost, I was in severe pain all the time. I was literally fighting my body just to pay my bills, right? I am now able to keep up with you. I am now able to keep up with my sons. I took my sons hiking the other weekend. And even though...
You're able to keep up with me? Well, that's not hard. No.
Shut up. Before I couldn't, though.
Really?
Yeah, I struggled keeping up with you.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I struggled keeping up with you. I struggled keeping up with Priscilla, and I'm like sitting here like, these people are like
I
20, 30 years older than me. I can't keep up with them. I couldn't keep up with my mom.
I just feel bad for Priscilla because she killed herself. Literally fucked herself over.
I was happy to see her.
I'm happy to see her out here.
Yeah, I was happy to see her.
But I'm worried. I'm like,
tonight.
Damn it, your foot is... But you know what? I don't think that will define her.
Yeah. She's too stubborn for that.
She's too stubborn for that.
She's that quiet, stubborn, and I appreciate her for that. But no, like, I struggle. Like, I struggle keeping up with my mom who's almost 70. You know? So I was just like, this needs to freaking change. Right? And so I was just like, I am going to fucking do what the doctors told me not to do. And it's been working for me. I mean, I do, like Rachel and I today were talking about that. I told her, it's like I have these conversations with my body. I sit here and go, okay, do you think we can do weights today? No? Okay. Well, do you think we can do push-ups and sit-ups and maybe some planks? Okay, let's do that. If you can't do that, let's do a 30-minute walking sweat exercise. Or the 300 squat routine. Like, let's do something, right?
Yeah.
So I'll do that, and it's nice because I'm sitting here like, yeah, I still have chronic pain. I still have 2 pops disc in my back.
Yeah.
But I took my kids hiking the other weekend, and I kept up with them. And yeah, you can hear me like breathing heavy, but I mean, we were going up a hill. Of course, it would be breathing heavy. But I was able to keep up with them. I wasn't dying. I was able to like sit and enjoy the hike, enjoy the workout.
So can I do something real quick? We'll have to stop this to do it. But I remember when we were first getting to know each other and everything. And we were in, I had you do, well, I really didn't understand how bad your back was at that time. But I asked you to do 20 push-ups. How many do you think you could probably do now?
Like full?
Yeah, full push-ups. I'm not, did you want to do that while this is recorded? I don't know. But anyways, I'm just curious how many you can do.
I am too.
Go ahead, I'll count. Okay. 1, 2. $16.
$16? Almost!
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I love the fact that I can do a hell of a lot more push-ups than I used to be able to do. Because at that time, I was proud of myself when I could do 25. Now I can do a hell of a lot more than that. I'm not going to tell you the number, but it's a hell of a lot more than that.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you the number,
but I will tell you this number, though. I started doing as you know, I started doing the jumping jacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many jumping jacks I do now?
Huh.
Which is harder than fuck, but I do it. 100.
Oh, nice.
Without stopping.
So
I'm breathing like a motherfucker when I'm done. I'm sucking in air like a COPD smoker, but
I still struggle with the burpees. I mean, I'm starting to where I'll push myself through the burpees, but I usually, they'll, like on the workout thing, they've done like 5 or 6, and I've done like maybe 3 within like the time limit. But I've actually been able to do like, the high knee running in place thing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to not be able to do that, and now I can do it and not even think about it. And that's nice. I can do jumping jacks. I can, I just did like a full freaking push-up, and I used to, I do those, and I had to do like the, when you're on your knees thing. So it's nice. But there are times,
you got to realize that you did better there because you actually did 16 full push-ups.
I think the first
when
time,
we were out there, I let you do it on your knees because it was easier, and you could barely do 20.
I could barely, and I just did 16.
I mean, if you did on your knee now, then you did a lot. And
I can feel my muscles, and I think that's, like, I'm actually starting to, like, even though I'm not down to my smallest yet, I'm actually starting to, like, fall back in love with my body. I feel my muscles. I'm loving that.
Yeah.
I do have flops still in my stomach. I still have a bit of a purge, but it doesn't bother me as much. Like if I walk by something, you can see your side reflection. I see my bit of purge. It doesn't bug me anymore. Like,
I've got a question then for you since we're on the subject. What is your mental body image? I guess what I'm asking is, it sounds like you're comfortable with your body image.
I think for me, when I was at 135, I wasn't down to my smallest, which was 120. I was 15 above that, but I would be comfortable where I was at that time. I still had a bit of weight. I still had grabby bits, but I could be comfortable in that place. Because even though, like, when I was at 135, I was walking from one side of Durango to the other side of Durango with 2 kids in hand.
Yeah.
And groceries.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, my body, like, my mental body image is a body that allows me to keep up with my sons, that allows me to be able to hold my sons. Like, tonight, Merrick was, like, trying to jump on my back. And used to, I would be screaming in pain. I would be like on the floor, fetal position, in agony. And yet today, while like I'm trying to get ready for work, and he's like, "Mommy, mommy," and grabbing me and like all this other stuff, I could just, like lock my muscles while he's like trying to jump onto my back and didn't feel any pain. So, yes, it would be nice to get back to my 120. Mm-hmm. I'll be content if I can get back to my 135. But I think for me, it's more a body that allows me to be able to be a mom again. To be able to get down and play with my kids. To be able to go, "Oh, my bookshelf fell apart," and get up and fix it.
Yeah.
That's...
So basically, for you to keep yourself, right now, your thing is, it sounds like, is to keep yourself in enough shape that you can continue to function without the pain that you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah, I still, God, when I weighed 270, mm-hmm. I was even up as high as, I think, at one point, 275, really, realistically. I remember the biggest problem was my lower back, my lower right corner of my back. Mm-hmm. I would throw that or pull that muscle all the time. Mm-hmm. And it would hurt for like days and days before it would finally heal. And then it would go out again. And I haven't pulled that muscle in quite a while. I still sometimes have tweaked it.
Yeah.
When I'm not keeping up on my exercising and stuff. It only takes, because I'm getting older, so it sucks. But like, it only takes a couple of 2-3 days, or about 3 or 4 days of not exercising, and it hurts. Because I hurt. But right now, I love it because I can feel my back, and what I can feel in my back is strength. There's muscle. Right.
And so that's like,
and I love it.
Doing what you just had me do, I feel the strength in my shoulders.
I love that I feel strength back there.
Yeah.
I love it, and it's worth it for all of the
pain,
struggle,
the bullshit,
the whole process. Yeah. And the process is getting easier.
Yeah.
It is. As a matter of fact, my wife even said, well, because I've been having some issues, and my wife said, well, maybe you shouldn't exercise tonight. Don't exercise tonight. Don't ask me not to exercise.
Right. A lot of
Don't ask me to do something that I love to do in some ways. In some ways I hate it, but other ways I love it. I mean, it's just...
Have you noticed this where those nights you don't feel like working out and you do work out, you actually feel better afterwards?
No, tonight's one of those nights for me.
Yeah, I've done that. I've had it where my complete arthritis is fully inflamed, like full body inflamed. And yet I'll do a workout, even if it's like one of those really easy 5-minute sit-up, like ab workout or something.
Yeah.
Something. I feel so much better. Like there was one time we had like a huge storm coming in. I could feel my disc were inflamed, like you touched there, it was hot. You could feel the swollen and everything. My arthritis was like going all berserk. And I did like a 5-minute workout. I was like, just get through 5 minutes. I did 15 minutes that night.
Yeah.
And I felt awesome. I also, like you were talking about the muscle in your back. For me, it's my right hip. It will pop out of place. And I used to, like, the only way I could get it back in is I'd have a physical therapist, or my old boss when I worked in Laredo, Faye, she was a chiropractor, retired chiropractor, so she would pop my hip back into place for me, right? I do not remember the last time my hip popped out of place.
Yeah.
And that is nice.
I mean, it's like with me, I don't remember the last time
I had to pop my hip
I don't remember the last time my back, but what sucks is I still am reminded, my body still reminds me of 49 years old though. Because in the morning when I wake up, even now, I'm stiff when I wake up. And I'm like, this is not fair.
Right.
I don't want to be. That's why I need to do more floor shit, because that's really where I'm not
for
stiff
me,
in the morning.
you want to know what's helped
but
me?
It sucks because I still am losing certain mobility that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And it's still bothers me.
I've noticed with the stiffness, if I make sure I at least do a few stretches afterwards, it really helps.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's just a couple, I've noticed just those couple can help.
But it was
and there are times
like this morning though. I mean, this is what's weird. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I have to bring this up. This morning, I felt stiff. But then I had to reach down. We had this little box way down low and everything, where I get out all the supplies to make my wife's smoothie and everything, all with like the machine and everything.
Yeah.
And I found myself going like this and getting down here and pulling this out. And even though I was stiff and I was in my morning step, I was able to still do that anyways. And I thought, well, maybe you shouldn't bitch so much.
See, I've done that. Like, I'll get into a squat and I would have to like use the counter and physically pull myself out of squat, or my mom would have to help me out of squat. And there are times like I'll get down there and I'm like, shit, I'm stuck. You know, like, have you ever had that? Like, you get down and you're like, shit.
I still get that.
Yeah.
Now.
But I've noticed, like, if I give myself like a little momentum, like if I do like a little bit of a bounce,
you can get
I can get myself back up, and I'm like, yeah. Like, it's always like that little win. Like, yeah, I did it. And I've always enjoyed that. So it's nice. It's like I am getting my body back, and so for me,
it's enjoyable for me that I can get that low because I can hide shit way down low at the bottom of the fridge. You know where I'm going with that. I know, I'm a horrible, evil person.
For me, it's
funny.
Like, I get that. I mean, for me, I've actually, like, this week I did have to use my sitting stool the first couple of days of my period, just because I do have a very heavy flow, and those first few days, like, I guess just because of where those crotch discs are, my period cramps are like, oh, hello, disc. Like, stabbing with a knife, like, right? And I did have to, like, use my stool when I was cutting the vegetables and stuff to make myself something to eat, but I was able to, like, stand a little bit longer than I normally can do, and I honestly, besides those few moments, most of the time, I can stand the entire time I'm making myself breakfast. And used to, I had to sit in my stool. My kitchen stool, as I call it. Like, I remember when my mom and I first moved back into together, and I kept putting a stool in the kitchen, and she'd take it out of the kitchen, and I'd take it back in the kitchen, and she'd take it out, and I was just like, stop taking my kitchen stool! You know, I got mad at her one day. I was so pissed. And she's just like, your kitchen stool? I was like, yeah. And so when, like, I'm cooking, I have my kitchen stool. Because I can't stand the entire time I'm cooking. And you could see the realization on her face, like, oh, that's why you've always had a stool in the kitchen. Oh, yeah, your back injury. Like, she, you know, like, I'm sure part of it was also, like, being a mom. She was just like, I didn't realize that's where my daughter was physically, you know? So it was kind of like a realization for her. And I also noticed around that same time was when she started doing the majority of the cooking after that, too. And it was just like, damn it, Mom. Don't take my independence. Like, you're spoiling me, but I'm also trying to stay independent. So it's funny. Like, I remember one time, like, we had this whole conversation. She's like, okay, I'll let you cook your own meals then. And I do. I've gone to where I cook my own meals now. So I've made my, gained my independence back. I mean, she still cooks the majority of the food in the house, but it's mostly for the kids. But it is. It's nice I can actually cook. And I love to cook. I do. I love cooking. So it's nice that I can find that I can cook and not have to use my stupid stool. It's still in the kitchen, but now it's more to get shit from the top shelf because I'm only 5'2", so like I need to get up there. But I don't have to use it to like cook anymore. So. There it was, our video for today. We had some interesting conversations as usual, and I hope it got your noggins thinking. If you guys have an idea for any future topics, please leave them in the comments down below. You can also reach me on all of my other accounts right here. There's also in the description down below, and any links of anything that we used within our video is always in the description as well. If you would like more, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ding that little bell so you get notifications of when we post videos. I also do a monthly vlog, and I have been starting to do reaction videos, so you are welcome to check those out. So please take care, be safe, and bye my sweeties!